So I want to look at E and F. We talked yesterday, there's something peculiar about rational equations. I can't do it with rational expressions, but as soon as you put that equal sign in there, there's something that I can do.
You can multiply, divide, subtract, add, square. You can solve, etc.
I can solve, and in solving, and I liked what you said first. I thought you were going somewhere else, but I liked what you said first. You said we can multiply.
Because you can do it to the other side as well to keep it.
Yes, which we can do with the other operations also. But yeah, I can multiply both sides by something, and I can combine things. I can make things cancel. The only thing I can do with expressions is give myself a common denominator and combine like terms. Once I have that equal sign, I don't have to worry about a common denominator anymore, necessarily. I'm going to multiply by the equivalent of my common denominator to make it cancel. All right, so I'm looking at these two denominators here. Before we actually multiply and make anything cancel, I know, because these are rational equations, each one is a rational expression, that there are some values that my x cannot equal. No matter what I find, those would be my domain restrictions. And while I don't know what x is, I'm going to go ahead and write down right now what I know x cannot possibly be. Give me one value that you know, like, nope, x cannot be that. Yes, sir? 2.
Because you put it into, you have a 0 on the bottom.
Yes. On the right-hand side, if we put a 2 in the place of x here, I would have 4 minus 4. That would give me a 0 in that denominator, which is not allowed. So x cannot equal 2. Is there anything else that x is not allowed to equal? Yes, sir?
Negative 5 over 2.
Negative 5 over 2. So I'm going to look as I solve this, and if either of those show up as my final answers, or part of my final answers, I'm going to have to throw those out. All right, I'm going to multiply this first fraction here by 2x minus 4 and 2x plus 5. And the same thing to my second fraction. I only have 2 terms in this equation, one on each side of my equal sign. In my first fraction, the one over on the left, will anything cancel for me? What's going to cancel? 2x plus 5 will cancel. So I'm going to have 3 times 2x minus 4 remaining. I didn't bother to take the GCF out because I looked at my other denominator and saw it did not also have a GCF of 2. So I'm not even going to worry about the GCF part. Second expression, right-hand side of my equal sign. What cancels for me there? 2x minus 4. I still have the 7. And then we've got 2x plus 5. Where do you guys want to go from here? Distribute. So I get 6x minus 12 is equal to 14x plus 35. I'm going to get my x's to the same side. I normally like to keep my x's positive, if at all possible, so I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. If you like your variables always to be on the left, and so you subtract 14x from both sides, that's fine. You're going to get the same final answer. I like to keep it positive because the less I have to mess with negative signs, the less chance there is for me to make a silly mistake. Right. And then I'm going to subtract 35 from both sides. What is negative 12 minus 35? Negative 47. And then what will finish this problem? Divide both sides by 8. Am I worried about this solution at all? Do I need to throw it out?
No.
Why not? Yeah. It's fully reduced. What else do I have to compare it against to make sure that it's valid, that it's okay, that it's allowed?
Or check the domain restriction.
Check those domain restrictions. It is not equal to either of those values that we said it could not be, so we're good. F. What are my domain restrictions on F? 3. X cannot equal 3. I'm going to take a moment anytime I see a rational equation, equal sign, I'm going to write down the things that X cannot be. Because if those show up in my solutions, I have to remember to pitch them. What would I want to multiply everything by? I thought I heard 6. I like it. Let's multiply everything through by 6. All right, so I'm going to multiply by 6, by 6, by 6. That'll cancel here. Will it have any effect on my first fraction at all?
You can reduce.
We can reduce it because this guy right here factors to be 3 times x minus 3. So that will reduce there. The 6 is going to become a 2, and my 3 will cancel. What else would I want to multiply by to get rid of all of my denominators? Yep, x minus 3. Have to do it to every single term. My x minus 3's will cancel here. So I'm going to have that left over 2. And then we had a negative 5 up there. Bring my plus sign over. My x minus 3's will cancel here. And so I have 6 times 4. And then over here, the x minus 3 doesn't cancel, so I have 5 times x minus 3. So negative 10 plus 24 equals 5x minus 15. I only have x in one spot. It's over on the right, so I'm going to add 15 to both sides, and then I'll just combine everything together on the left. And I get, if you want to move around because it's stuffy in here, feel free. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. I just like, if you guys need to move around in the room for whatever reason, maybe you're sleepy, maybe whatever, you are welcome to do that. I have clipboards if you need it. What do I get when I combine the stuff on the left-hand side? 29. 29 equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5. And is my final answer problematic at all? No. 29 over 5 is almost to where I would need to throw it out, right?
No, it'd be close to 6.
Hmm?
It's close to 6.
It's close to, I'm sorry, I still didn't hear you.
6.
It is close to 6. Well, if I had, yeah, it is close to 6.
That's about, right now that's 4.8.
Mm-hmm.
No, 5.8.
Yes, it's 5.8. The only thing we would have had to throw out is what? 3. All right. Let's do a couple more like this. Talk to me on part G about what x cannot be.
25.
It can't be 0.5, it can't be 1/2, and it also cannot be
Negative 1/2.
negative 1/2. So x cannot be plus or minus 1/2. Either one of those would make at least one of my denominators 0.
Or 2.
Well, if I had a positive 1/2, it would make 2 denominators 0. If I had a negative 1/2, it would make 2. But I would still end up with a 0 in at least one denominator, and that's all that I really need to watch out for. Can I multiply to make my denominators cancel? What should I multiply by? 4x squared minus 1. I'm going to go ahead and write that down in its factored form, but if you wanted to write 4x squared minus 1, that is fine. Factored form of 4x squared minus 1 is 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. So I'm going to multiply every single one of these by 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. All right. First fraction, 2x plus 1's cancel. So I still have a 2 and a 2x minus 1. I'm going to bring down my subtraction and the numerator here because I know that's not going to cancel. The 2x minus 1 cancels though. So I have 2x plus 1. And what about my last fraction? It's just the top part. It's just my numerator. These factors right here cancel my denominator. So negative 2x plus 7. Let's distribute and see what we get. 4x minus 2. Don't forget on this next one, you are distributing a negative 3. I'm going to continue harping on signs all semester because everybody makes mistakes with signs sometimes. And I don't want that to be why you guys miss points. What kind of lovely terms can I combine on the left? 4x and negative 6x, so I have negative 2x. Negative 2 and negative 3, so I have negative 5. What happens? Yeah, because when I add 2x to both sides, that is going to cancel out. So negative 5 equals 7? That is a not true. It's not 0, be careful. But it does mean that I have what as a solution?
No solution.
No solutions. No solutions. I want you to pretend with me for just a moment. All right, we're going to pretend. What if I had gotten negative 5 equals negative 5 when I had done this? Just pretending. What would my answer be then?
All solutions.
Infinitely many solutions, all real numbers, except positive or negative 1/2. Why?
Because those are your domain restrictions.
Yes, those are our domain restrictions. So all real numbers except x cannot equal positive or negative 1/2. I want to do h, and then we'll save a real short thing for the beginning of class tomorrow in 2.1. What do I want to multiply by? 3x minus 1. What are my domain restrictions here? I'm sorry, how much?
1/3.
1/3. I just couldn't hear. Not range, restrictions.
How do you know the restrictions?
Look at your denominator. What would make the denominator 0?
So you do 3x
Yes.
And that's the restriction.
Yes. You take your denominators, set them equal to 0. Whatever would make your denominator 0. All right. So I have 9x equals 2 times 3x minus 1 plus 3. We're going to distribute here. So 9x equals 6x minus 2 plus 3. Combine these guys together, but I can also subtract 6x from both sides. 3x equals what? 1. So x is, but is it?
No.
No. So what's my answer?
Nothing.
No solutions. All right. 3 short problems, 1 last concept. It's something you guys have done before. It's not difficult. That'll finish up 2.1 first thing tomorrow. And then we're going to continue talking about equations, but we're going to look at some applied problems. Application problems is code word for what?
Factor.
For what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Not necessarily factoring. If I look at the applications for things, I'm looking at them in context. We're going to be doing story problems. I will have a handout with the stories written on them already, so you guys don't have to copy that part down.